3 days. One movie. $264 million. That is what people handed over to watch Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey in its first weekend alone. The biggest opening of his entire career. Bigger than his Batman movies. Bigger than anything he's ever done. By every normal human measure, that is a monster hit. And here's the sentence that broke my brain. It might not be enough. Not enough to be a smash. Not enough to get its money back. By the end of this, you'll understand why a movie can sell $250 million in tickets in one weekend and still be sweating. And I promise you, we'll never read a box office headline the same way again. Quick note before we go, these numbers come from public reporting and the exact deals are private, so the totals are close estimates. This is economics for fun, not financial advice. Okay, lights down. Start with what it cost to make. $250 million. That's the price tag on this thing, and it is the most expensive movie Nolan has ever made, and that money is really just stuff, real locations on the other side of the planet, real ships, real sets somebody actually built and somebody actually knocked down, thousands of humans getting paid for 2 years. $250 million is not a bag of cash in a vault. It's a small town's worth of people working, but here's the bill nobody ever puts in the headline. Making the movie is only half the job, and the other half is telling the entire planet the movie exists. Think about the last month of your life. The trailer before every video you clicked, the billboard on the highway, the bus with the poster wrapped around it, the weird collectible popcorn bucket. None of that is free. All of that is a receipt, and for a movie this size, that receipt is around $125 million. So add it up. $250 million to make it. $125 million to shout about it. $375 million gone before a single person buys a single ticket, which means it needs to sell $375 million in tickets to get back to zero. Right? Yeah, that's what I thought too. Let's follow one ticket. Yours. It's Friday. You're in line. You hand over about $15. You get the little paper stub. You go find your seat. Where does your $15 go? Naturally, you'd assume it goes to the people who made the movie. That's who you came for. That's whose name is on it. But roughly half of your $15 never leaves the building. The theater keeps it. Not a little tip, not a small fee, roughly half. And once you know that, every headline you have ever read about a movie changes. Because when somebody reports that a film has made $600 million, that is not $600 million sitting in a studio's bank account. That is the total amount of money that walked through the doors of every theater on Earth. The people who made the movie see about half of it. That giant, impressive number on the news was never their money. Now hold those two ideas next to each other and watch what happens. The bill is $375 million. But every ticket dollar only sends about 50 cents home. So, to get $375 million back, the world has to buy about $750 million worth of tickets. Say that slowly. Every single dollar this movie cost has to be earned twice. $750 million just to get back to zero. Not to celebrate, not to profit, zero. Because that's all breaking even means. You got your money back, and nobody made anything yet. Now, you'll see different finish lines depending who's doing the guessing. Some say $625 million. Some say $750, because the exact splits are private and every country is a little different. We're using the big number, $750, because that's the one where nobody at the studio is nervous anymore. So why does the theater get to keep half of your ticket? Is that a scam? Honestly, no. Picture what a movie theater actually is. It's an enormous building in an expensive spot sitting empty most of Tuesday. It's rent. It's electricity for 400 seats. It's staff. It's projectors that cost more than a car. It's somebody mopping up your spilled soda at midnight all year. For a business that only really eats when a big movie shows up. And if you've seen my stadium hot dog video, you already know exactly where this goes. The $9 soda, the $12 popcorn. That is not the theater being greedy for fun. The snack counter is the theater's paycheck. The tickets mostly keep the lights on. And there's one more wrinkle that explains something you've noticed your whole life. The split isn't frozen. On opening weekend, the studio takes the biggest share it will ever take. Then every extra week, the movie sticks around. The theater's slice quietly grows, which is why the studio wants every human on Earth in a seat on day one site. And the theater is thrilled when a movie just refuses to leave. That's why opening weekend gets treated like the Super Bowl. It's the most valuable weekend a movie will ever have. Oh, and outside the United States, the studio's share gets even thinner in some countries. So, a worldwide number is worth a little less than it looks. Okay, so where is this thing right now? It opened to $264 million worldwide. Then it kept going. As of a few days ago, it was sitting somewhere around $640 million and climbing every single day. The finish line is 750. It's right there. It is genuinely right there. This is the part I love. We almost never get to watch this happen live. Usually, you find out years later that some movie you liked lost money, and you shrug. Right now, today, while you're watching this, somebody is buying a ticket in a theater somewhere and nudging that number forward. And by the time you see this, it may have already crossed. This thing moves daily. Go look it up after. Seriously, it's fun. Because let's be clear about what's happening here. This is not a flop. This isn't close to a flop. A 3-hour movie about a really old poem just posted the biggest opening weekend of Christopher Nolan's life. That's remarkable. It's just that at this size, remarkable, and we got our money back are two different finish lines. And once it does cross 750, everything after that is the good part. Every ticket from then on is somebody's bonus, somebody's next movie, somebody's yes. Plus, the movie's life doesn't end when it leaves theaters. There's renting it at home, selling it to a streaming service, selling it to TV, then selling it again in 5 years, which is why almost nothing is a permanent disaster. It just takes years instead of a weekend. So here's what you walk away with. Next time you see a headline, this movie made $500 million. You now know the two things almost nobody in that comment section knows. 1, about half of that money never left the theater. 2, the movie's real bill was way bigger than the price tag because telling you it existed cost $125 million on its own. A gigantic box office number does not mean a gigantic profit. Sometimes a gigantic box office number means they are finally barely getting close to even. 264 million in a weekend, 640 and climbing. A finish line at 750. Nolan will probably pull this off. He usually does, but success at this size isn't a headline. It's a math problem. Running in public. One ticket at a time. So tell me, what's the first movie you were shocked to find out lost money? Drop it in the comments. There are some famous ones, and I want to see who gets it. And if this changed how you read a headline, subscribe. We do this to everything. Stadiums, airports, streaming, now movies. I'm Mr. Moolah. Buy the popcorn. The theater needs it more than you know.